Right now, as you are watching this, a massive wall of rain is pushing across the United Kingdom from the Atlantic. The Met Office has just issued a yellow weather warning covering the entire country. And here is the part most people are missing. This is not just drizzle. Some areas are about to be hit with rainfall heavy enough to cause localized flooding within hours. But there is one region tonight where temperatures will crash to 0 degrees Celsius, and actual snow, will pile up on the roads. If you live in Scotland, you need to hear what I am about to say in the next 60 seconds. Before we go any further, let me make you a promise. In the next 5 minutes, I will give you the exact timing of when this weather system hits your city, when it peaks, and when it finally clears, city by city, hour by hour. And if you stay until the 7-minute mark, I will reveal which specific neighborhoods and streets are most at risk tonight from wind tunnels, coastal surges, and ice. That information could genuinely keep you safe, so do not go anywhere. Now let me paint the picture of what is happening right now across Britain this Friday evening, the 6th of February, 2026. 3 words sum it up: overcast, cloudy, relentless drizzle. A thick blanket of cloud has swallowed the sky from Cornwall to the Scottish Highlands. You will not see the moon tonight. You will not see a single star. Instead, a grey veil is sitting over the entire country, and beneath it, rain is falling. Quietly, persistently, soaking everything. But here is what makes tonight unusual: the temperatures. For February, we are looking at minimums around 7 degrees Celsius across much of England. That is remarkably mild. Why? Because moist Atlantic air is flooding in, carrying warmth and enormous humidity. Sounds like good news, right? Well, here is the trade-off. That same mild air is the engine driving all this rain. You get warmth, but you pay for it with hours of persistent, soaking wet conditions. The winds, however, are easing compared to the daytime, so if you are driving tonight, that is one piece of genuinely good news. Now, let us start the city-by-city breakdown, and I want you to drop a comment right now telling me where you are watching from. Your city, your town, your village, because I will be covering as many locations as I can, and if yours is not here, tell me in the comments and I will make sure it is included in the next forecast. London first. The capital tonight sits between 8 and 11 degrees Celsius. Early evening will be the warmest, then temperatures will slide down to 8 degrees by the late hours. Drizzle will come and go all evening. It is not dramatic, but it is persistent. Visibility is decent, so trains and buses should run without major issues. But here is what Londoners need to watch: the roads. Wet surfaces plus Friday evening traffic equals danger. Slippery conditions are expected across the city, so if you are behind the wheel, slow down and leave extra space. Now Manchester, and this is where things get more serious. Manchester tonight will see persistent rain with bursts of heavy downpours hitting between 7 and 9 in the evening. Temperatures range from 6 to 9 degrees Celsius, noticeably colder than London. But combine that cold with wind and high humidity, and it will feel bitter. If you are heading to Old Trafford or the Etihad tonight, I am not going to sugarcoat it. You are watching football in the rain. Bring waterproofs, bring your patience, and on the motorways around Manchester, visibility will drop during those heavy downpours, so take extra care. Birmingham next, England's second city, temperatures from 7 to 10 degrees Celsius with persistent drizzle all evening. Mild on paper, but the humidity will trick your body into feeling colder than it actually is. And here is something most people do not think about. If you are in the Bull Ring or the New Street area tonight, watch out. The tall buildings create a wind tunnel effect. You will be walking along thinking the wind is manageable, and then suddenly a gust funnels between 2 buildings and nearly takes your umbrella inside out. Liverpool, the famous port city on the Mersey. Rain here will be persistent and heavy showers are expected around mid-evening, roughly between 7:30 and 9 o'clock. Temperatures from 7 to 10 degrees Celsius. But Liverpool has a factor that inland cities do not: the Atlantic wind. Because of its coastal position, winds tonight will be significantly stronger. Down around the Albert Dock, that wind will carry moisture straight off the Irish Sea and cut right through your coat. If you live near the waterfront, prepare for stronger than normal waves as well. Do not skip ahead, because what I am about to reveal about the northeast will surprise you. Leeds. Drizzle and showers alternating all evening. 6 to 9 degrees Celsius. But Leeds sits in hilly terrain, and that changes everything. Higher areas around the city will see heavier rainfall, and here is the twist. Towards late evening, those western suburbs near the Pennines could see sleet mixing in with the rain. If you live in that part of Leeds, this is your heads up right now. Newcastle upon Tyne. Now we are getting into properly cold territory. Temperatures tonight only 4 to 7 degrees Celsius, a full 2 to 3 degrees colder than London. The rain itself is actually lighter than Manchester or Liverpool. But the wind. The North Sea wind will blow hard tonight and create a bone-chilling cold that cuts straight through clothing. If you are anywhere along the River Tyne, the sea breeze effect will make it feel even colder. Multiple layers are not optional tonight in Newcastle. They are essential. Now let me swing to the west, Bristol. The historic port city on the River Avon comes in at 8 to 11 degrees Celsius, matching London for mildness. Drizzle will be light and intermittent. But if you are near the Clifton Suspension Bridge tonight, be aware. The hilly terrain and the deep gorge of the Avon funnel wind into surprisingly strong gusts. It is a beautiful spot, but tonight it will be exposed. Cardiff, capital of Wales, very similar to Bristol, 8 to 10 degrees Celsius, persistent drizzle, but Cardiff Bay will catch stronger winds off the Bristol Channel. The people of Wales should expect a damp evening, but not a dangerously cold one. I promised you at the start that I would tell you which areas face the biggest risks tonight. Stay with me, because we are about to cover Scotland, and that is where this forecast takes a dramatic turn. But first, a few more English cities. Nottingham, the land of Robin Hood, 6 to 9 degrees Celsius. Rain will intensify around mid-evening. Sherwood Forest to the north will catch heavier rainfall because the wooded terrain pulls moisture from the air. Sheffield, sitting at the foot of the Pennines, 5 to 8 degrees Celsius with persistent rain. And here is the critical detail. The higher ground to the west, near the Peak District, may see sleet or even actual snowfall as the evening wears on and temperatures drop. If you are driving through the Peak District tonight, take extreme caution. Southampton, down on the south coast. A mild 8 to 11 degrees Celsius. Light drizzle, but sea breezes will pick up around the port. And if you are planning to take the ferry to the Isle of Wight, check conditions first. The sea will be choppier than usual tonight. Brighton, also 8 to 11 degrees Celsius. The Pebble Beach will not be inviting tonight, but the seafront cafes and restaurants are the perfect shelter from the damp channel air. Oxford and Cambridge, the two great university cities, 7 to 10 degrees Celsius with persistent drizzle. Students walking home from late library sessions, grab your waterproofs. The beautiful college gardens are turning to mud tonight. Plymouth in Devon, 8 to 11 degrees Celsius, mild, but do not let that fool you. Plymouth faces the open Atlantic, and tonight the winds will be fierce. Heavy showers will hit at intervals. If you live near the Hoe or the harbour, strong winds and high waves are expected. This is serious coastal weather. Exeter, further inland, gets off lighter, 7 to 10 degrees Celsius. Persistent drizzle but calmer winds. Typical southwest England winter. Now, Scotland. And I need you to pay close attention here because conditions in Scotland tonight are in a completely different league, Edinburgh. The elegant capital drops to just 2 to 5 degrees Celsius. That is a massive gap compared to the south. Rain here will turn to sleet and snow, particularly on higher ground like Arthur S. Seat and Calton Hill. North Sea winds will be harsh and unforgiving. If you go out tonight in Edinburgh, you need multiple layers, a woolen hat, scarf and gloves as a minimum. And watch your step. The Royal Mile and those beautiful old cobbled streets will become treacherous when wet or icy. Glasgow, 2 to 6 degrees Celsius. Rain and sleet throughout the evening. The west of Scotland always catches more rain because of the Atlantic, and tonight is no exception. Suburban areas and the higher ground around Glasgow will very likely see proper snowfall. Aberdeen. This is the harshest forecast of any major city tonight. 1 to 4 degrees Celsius. Snow is highly likely. North Sea winds will be vicious, creating a piercing cold that goes straight to the bone. Snow may accumulate on roads, making driving genuinely dangerous. If you are in Aberdeen tonight, my honest advice is this: stay indoors unless you absolutely must go out. And if you do drive, make sure you have winter tyres fitted and drive with extreme caution. Inverness, the gateway to the Highlands, 0 to 3 degrees Celsius, and temperatures may drop below freezing in the late hours. Heavy snowfall is virtually certain in the mountains around Inverness, including the areas near Loch Ness. This is full Highland winter conditions. Now, before I give you the exact timing breakdown, let me repeat the most critical information for those of you who just joined. The Met Office has a yellow weather warning covering the entire United Kingdom. Southern England stays mild, 7 to 11 degrees Celsius with persistent drizzle. Central and northern England get colder, down to 5 degrees Celsius in places, with heavy downpours. Scotland is the danger zone tonight, with temperatures crashing to 0 and genuine snowfall expected in multiple cities. If you are in Scotland right now, please do not underestimate these conditions. And one thing I have not mentioned yet, for anyone with elderly relatives or neighbours living alone tonight, especially in Scotland and the northeast, this would be a good time to check in on them. A quick phone call to make sure they are warm, that their heating is working, and that they are not planning to go out unnecessarily. That simple act could make a real difference on a night like this. So let me pull all of this together for you with the timing, because timing is everything. Across southern England, the rain started this afternoon and will persist through the entire evening, peaking between 7 and 10 o'clock tonight. By midnight, the worst should be easing, and by tomorrow morning, Saturday, conditions will begin to improve. Across central and northern England, the heaviest downpours hit between 6 and 10 o'clock this evening. Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, and Sheffield will see the peak rainfall during that window. After 10 o'clock, the intensity drops, but light rain continues into the early hours. Scotland faces the longest and coldest window. Snow and sleet will intensify from around 5 o'clock this evening and continue through the entire night. The peak will come between 8 o'clock and midnight. Conditions in the Highlands may not improve until late Saturday morning. Now, here is what everyone needs to know about road safety tonight. The Met Office yellow warning is specifically about persistent rainfall causing water accumulation on roads. Localized flooding is possible in low-lying areas. Drainage systems may be overwhelmed. Aquaplaning, where your tires lose contact with the road because of standing water, is a real risk tonight. Reduce your speed, increase your following distance. And if you see standing water on the road, slow right down. Public transport should run normally with only minor delays. Flights from Heathrow, Gatwick, Manchester, and Edinburgh airports are not expected to face major disruption, but always check your flight status before you leave for the airport. Do not assume everything is on time. For the weekend, here is your outlook. This weather system moves away tomorrow, Saturday. Rainfall will decrease and we will see some brighter spells breaking through. However, temperatures may actually drop slightly as colder air pushes in from the north behind the rain. Sunday will bring a mix of scattered showers and sunny intervals. It is a transitional weekend. Not perfect, but better than tonight. For the football fans out there, Premier League matches taking place tonight will be affected. Pitches across the country will be waterlogged and slippery. The ball will skid unpredictably on the wet surface, which often leads to unexpected results. Both players and supporters should brace themselves for a soggy 90 minutes. If you are in the stands tonight, wear layers underneath your waterproof, not just a coat on top. The dampness creeps in slowly, and by halftime, you will regret not preparing properly. Now, here is a detail that most weather forecasts will not tell you. Tonight, rainfall totals across central England could reach 15 to 20 millimeters in some areas. That does not sound like much until you realize that the ground is already saturated from weeks of winter rain. The soil simply cannot absorb any more water. That means surface runoff will be higher than normal, and low-lying roads, underpasses, and car parks are the first places where water collects. If your regular route home includes any dips or underpasses, consider an alternative route tonight. One more thing, if you found this forecast useful, drop a comment telling me your location and I will make sure your area gets detailed coverage in the next video. And speaking of the next video, I need to warn you. There is another weather system forming over the Atlantic right now that could arrive early next week. The early signs suggest it could be more powerful than what we are seeing tonight. I will have the full breakdown, the exact timing, and the risk areas in the next forecast. So make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on so you do not miss it. Stay warm, stay dry, stay safe out there tonight.